Hello everyone, Pancho Man from the Zap team here. Welcome to this video on how to use the enhanced airfield editor and our new airport file builder from OSM. Uh, so as we've wrapped up the basic airport development series, along the way we've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes to actually make it easier to make community airports, and I think this script will really help you make airport files much faster, much better, with less errors. So I'm really excited to share this, and this is just the beginning. Look out for our new video series coming up shortly. I think you'll really like it. So let's get started here. I've got this downloaded, the Enhanced Airfield Editor and Airport File Builder. This file might change names over time as we release it and add more features. Here's my Airport Editor HD folder. I'm going to open this up, and this goes in the Assets folder of Airport Editor HD. So the Tools folder is going to join with the Tools folder in there, and the Zap folder will merge in if you have a Zap folder already. If not, I'll make one. Now, this is going to ask you about replacing files. So we do replace the default field there, Airfield Editor, and some of its JSON scripts. So I would recommend backing those up if you haven't, or be willing to re-download Airfield Editor from Fielder. But we'll go ahead and replace these. And once we've done that, we can go ahead and head into Unity. Okay, here we are in Unity. I've got a completely blank ICAO template here. I haven't even tail-landed anything or put any terrain in. I'm just going to show you this right in the darkness, just so you can really appreciate what's going on with the airport file. Let me just show you Airfield Editor. Looks pretty similar. Here's stuff that's not related, and just clear all this out. And you see it pulls in the road and not renders automatically for you. We've got a couple of settings here that I'll talk to you about, and a bunch of new buttons here, as well as like a stats bar here. So instead of walking you through all these buttons, I'm going to show you what these buttons do. Our OSM Airport File Builder also has many of these functions built into it that it'll call upon. So let me go ahead and show you how to get started here. We've got a Zap button up here now. We're going to click that. And there's two things in here. As you download more Zap scripts, this will grow. Shortcuts. So here you've got all the shortcuts you need to do different things with your airport. And then here's our OSM Airport File Builder. We'll go ahead and open this. This opens a Unity window. You can dock it wherever. I recommend putting it right here next to Inspector, so it uses the full length of the screen, and it's very easy to see, and off to the side where it's not in the way. So as you can see, this is already giving it away a little bit, but the airport we're going to be building for this tutorial is RJBB. That's Osaka Kansai International, one of the major airports in Japan. So it's a pretty cool airport, and we'll go ahead and work on it. So we're just going to start with step one. We're going to load the OSM data. So you're just going to hit fetch and import. It's going to try to pull everything in from OSM. It's going to be a little bit tricky sometimes because OSM is under a lot of load, so it can have some trouble with fulfilling these requests. So if you get those like 504 errors, just wait a little bit, try again. The script tries about 3 times, so if that doesn't work, just give it a few minutes and then give it another try. And here we go. It's already imported our airport roads into Unity. So we've got our 2 runways here, I've got our taxiways here, and gates everywhere. So let me go ahead and show you how to get started from here. Step 2 is to consolidate taxiways. It's completely optional, but I think this step will help you quite a bit. One of the things that you'll see is that when OSM imports roads, many of them can be disconnected or like segmented. So like this and this is a different segment. Like some things can be 2 segments like this. So that adds a lot of roads. You can see we have 313 taxiways, which is quite a bit. So you can hit consolidate and it'll smartly try to connect all the taxiways together for you so that there's not so many to work with. So let's go ahead and hit that. Give it a minute to work here. And it's already reduced our taxiways from 313 to 189. And so things that were previously disconnected, it's gone in and joined as much as it could using the logic that's built in. Sometimes it joins things that you may not want joined together, like this for example. So the logic does the best it can, but you can always split a taxiway. So that's where these join and split taxiways come in. So let's say I want to split this, here at this knot. I just select the knot, hit split, and now it's two separate taxiways. It'll retain the same name for you, so that's very easy. Now if I said, hey, actually, I do want these connected, I can pick my two taxiways, shift select them. So 1, shift, and 2. So now I have 2 selected, and I can do join, and now it's put it back together as one piece. So I'll show you again here. This is whatever taxiway this is, and I said, I don't really want it to have this portion here, so let's just go ahead, split, and now it's 2 separate ones, so I can do what I need to there. So this should help make things easy for you, joining and splitting taxiways as needed. So next thing we want to do is actually get our hold points in, so we're going to need hold gates all along these taxiways going to the runway. There's 2 ways to do this here. Now some OSM airports you can actually import directly from OSM, but if your airport doesn't have it, let me show you how to do it manually. So for this, we want to make sure we have our taxiways connected to the runway to be able to do that. So that way the script can detect that it is a taxiway going to a runway. Now you could move them, adjust them, bring them in. But let me just skip forward and I'll show you another cool feature here. So you can see these 2 are disconnected. We can actually go here to auto fix connections, give that a click, and it's going to go ahead and join everything up that seems missing. So now these 2 that were not connected before are connected. And then we can actually pick a distance, I think. Let's try like 90 meters and add hold points. And now it's gone in and put those hold points in 90 meters from the runway, every taxiway that's connected to a runway. And we can go ahead and take a look at it, and here it is. And it's put in our saved gate roads automatically. The script automatically detects which direction the gate type needs to be and which saved road which runways it's connected to, and it automates that all for us. And then let me show you the other way of doing this. Let's just fetch again. We'll restart here. And I'm going to just do, I'll just consolidate real quick. So back to where we were, and then let's do import runway hold points. So this is importing from OSM data, and it puts them in exactly where the data is in OSM. So now all our hold points are in with a click of the button. A couple of interesting things here. If you have non-runway hold points, like your OSM file has points like this and they're labeled, it'll put those in for you as holds. In this OSM file, they're not labeled as runway, so it'll pull them all in and you can just turn them off. And if you do have ones that it can pull in non-runway hold points because it's in your OSM file, you'll see it in step 3C. So far so good. We've loaded in our data, we've checked our runways, we've consolidated our taxiways as needed. We have our hold points in, and now let's do the gates. So let me show you what imports from OSM for this airport. You got this, you got that, trying to add the nice cute lines, and then here's your actual gate. And then over here, you've got whatever the hell this is, right? Sounds like a mess, but don't worry, our script is going to help us with that. So let's go back over here, go to gates, and let's just do consolidate and clean up, and it will consolidate each one into a single one. So give it a minute, doing some math, and there we go. Much cleaner. This is what we expect. And you can see that maybe some of these, the point ones, they need to be straightened and put extended. So we'll just do that, and bam. All of our gates cleaned up, ready to go, all connected. And we can just regenerate. We got some extra terminal gates from before. Regen cleaned. One thing you'll know here, if you notice, my hierarchy doesn't look like an absolute mess of 116 gates cluttering it. So we've consolidated all our terminal gates into a nice drop down here at the top. So those are tucked out of the way, which is just a nice quality of life thing. And so already we've got all of this done, so let's go ahead and go to the next step, which is denotify and smart denotify. So as you can see, we have lots of knots. Here, I'll maybe leave the camera here, and lots of knots, right? And also spawning knots here where they shouldn't be. So that's not good. So denotify first. It's going to clean up 411 knots. So we started with 4126 knots. Now we're down to 3612. So we've lost 12% of our knots. So those ones that cause errors are gone. And now let's do smart denotify. So I'm going to click this. This is going to take a couple of minutes depending on how strong your computer is and the size of your airport. What this is doing is it's mathematically going through and deciding, does this knot need to exist or not? Well, if I delete this knot, will it adjust the spline and make it different? Can I delete this knot and move another knot to also lower the knot count? So it's going to do this, and we're going to see. It takes a couple of minutes. Again, depends on the airport size and how many knots there are for it to process. And then we're going to see the knot count here when it's done, and let's see how many it removes. Okay, so this took about a minute and a half, and it's removed almost 1,500 knots. So we're going to go from 3612, so we started at 4126, so we're down to 3612 knots, and now we're down to 2,000 knots. So the second smart denotify removed about 40 knots, and denotify removed about 12% of knots. So now we've lost half the knots. So now look at this, clean. Right, so this is going to make your airport file run much smoother, and it's going to reduce the amount of pathfinding time that it's going to need. And it's done that all without messing with your splines and keeping everything clean. You can always go back and do a little more manual cleanup as you go through. Okay, and let's go to that next step here. And now we're going to clean up. And so let me show you some stuff. This isn't connected, so I'll show you that as well. But when you make a connection, there's always a little tail. Here I have it exaggerated, but there's always a little tail that you end up putting there because you really want to make sure the X exists. And you can try to make it really small, but there'll still be a little bit of a tail. And these tails can look a little messy on your aiders. They're very annoying to deal with. But now we have a button, and it makes life easy. So here I'm going to exaggerate this tail so you can see. And we're going to hit clip, and everything is perfect while maintaining the X. All the tails are gone. Everything connects perfectly. So after you've done a lot of your editing, making adjustments, things like that, come back and clip your tails. And then the last one is, again, we'll go back to autofix connections. So let me show you this. So anything that's not connected and should be, autofix. And it's fixed lots of connections for us. This one it didn't fix because it thinks it's connected, but it's not perfect, but it does a very good job. I'll just show you here. Not connected. Autofix connects. And let me show you a couple of more features here. Let's break some stuff here. So let's delete this connection. Oops, we forgot to connect that. And this is gate 30 and this is gate 31, and let's make this gate 30 again. Oops, we forgot to duplicate. Or we duplicated it, we forgot to name it properly. And if you have these that you put manually and you said, uh-oh, let me put a period in, press the wrong button, little typo or something. Let me show you. So after this, the last step is to go back to Airfield Editor. And here now you've got all the tools that we used. A couple of them I'll still show you. And the last thing you want to do is hit validate. And what does validate do? It finds all the errors. So let's go look at them. And it's got to find something. So here it is. We have invalid saved gate roads. Not connected. Not connected. Anything that's like a gate overlap. So here if we have the not on the same place, it'll find gate overlaps. It'll find duplicate names. It'll find crossing gates. It'll find all kinds of stuff and help you fix it. So here's gate crossings. This has 2 connections because it's connected to 2, so it'll find that. So it's going to try and find as many errors as it can for you to fix, and visually show you where the error is, what knot is involved, and what the error is. Another cool thing is in Airfield Editor, it will show you the errors here. So it'll give you every error, tell you what it is, and if you said, ooh, I want to fix this one, you hit go, and it'll actually take you to where you gotta go, and it'll select that knot for you. So if you're more zoomed in, and you said, I want to fix gate 13, go, it'll show you gate 13, and it'll select it for you here. So this should help you save a lot of headaches when you're working on your airport file, because it'll help find a lot of issues, disconnects, auto-fixing things, clipping your tails, all of that. And so this is our airport file builder. As you can see, in just a couple of minutes, you can have an airport file that's very clean and requires not a lot of work to keep going. So this should drastically streamline the file creation process. You don't have to use another application to first generate it or fetch the data or anything like that. Alright, let me show you a couple more features that are in Enhanced Airfield Editor that we didn't go over yet in Airport File Builder. So one thing is, when you're importing, it'll go ahead and find the ICAO, the center latitude, longitude, altitude, GMT offset, everything for you. Filled in the name. Here it's in Japanese because it's a Japanese airport. You just really need to fill in like whatever's missing here, like the call signs. It's got Delhi, for example, from the previous airport. And then you have the add road button, so you hit add road, and then you can just quickly hit W and start putting in your knots. We talked about all of this stuff here. Let me show you some more stuff. So up in Zap shortcuts, we also have select knots. So what that does is, let's say I have a road here and I hit Control Q. It's picked all the knots, which makes it very easy for me to move. Okay. And then if I want to duplicate, I can do Control Shift Q, and it'll select all the children, and it will let me quickly duplicate them. So let's say I want to duplicate 1, 2, and 3 gates. Control Shift Q, and it's duplicated them, and now I can move them around instantly after duplicating and put them where I want. And let's say, you know what, we're going to extend this taxiway and do that or something, and we need to put a bunch of gates in. Let's just select all of these. Control Shift Q, duplicates them, goes to select mode, bring them over. Oops, I missed a couple to select. You can use magic tool, rotate them in, etc. And then, we can duplicate them again. Let's say I'm going to duplicate these. Control Shift Q, put them in. And, so forth. You can keep going. And then you're like, oh, I got to rename all these guys. Okay, so now because they're just going to sequentially number. And so you're like, oh man, how do I do that? Well, let's select them all. Select. And then let's go to shortcuts and rename gates. And we're just going to give it the pattern that we want. So let's say gate Z1, and it'll sequentially go. So now this should be gate Z1, gate Z2, gate Z3, gate Z4, gate Z5, so forth. And so it'll automatically sequentially number it if you just give it the pattern that you need for doing that. Alright, so we've got stuff here. One more. So I'll show you this. This is going to be helpful for a future script, but I'll show you this as well since the feature is here. When we design our airports, many times we don't want junctions like this. Let me split that. Split. Like this. And you just want the plus, right? Normally we would delete these, but sometimes we want these lines because it makes our junctions look better. And so there's another feature here in Airfield Editor that I can show you that we'll use for a future script, but I'm just going to show it to you so you don't delete them all right now. And that is to toggle decorative. And so the way you do that is Control Shift X. So pick these, Control Shift X, Control Shift X, Control Shift X, for example. And so that's going to be this one here, toggle decorative road. And it activates this is decorative option here. And by doing that, this is going to make your future 3D ground markings look really good because these splines are in. But this will not save to the airport file, so the game will not see it. It won't use it for pathfinding, but it's there for you to use for future scripts. So instead of going ahead and deleting everything, you can just do this, and it'll make them grayed out to show you that they're decorative. And in fact, you can also just go ahead and hit Show Decorative, take it off, and that road exists, but now you can't see it, so you can focus on the roads that actually matter. But then if you need to look at your decorative roads, there they are. Okay, and so you could even have that off and just make it decorative and make it disappear that way instead of deleting them. And so you'll see in the future videos what those decorative roads can do for you. Last thing that I'll show you back in Airfield Editor is we have a lock all jetways. So when you edit your jetway, you want to lock it so that it doesn't move, because right now if you move the road, the jetway is also moved. You could do it manually by going here and turning on the pause lock for it, but that can be arduous to do that for all of them. So we can go back to Airfield Editor and just hit lock all jetways, and now it's triggered that on every single one. So every single one is locked. So now once I've adjusted my jetways, they stay in place, and now I can continue to edit whatever I need to without my jetways moving. Okay, so this video we went over how to generate airport file from scratch using the new airport file builder tool, and then also which not only does a lot of this, but it incorporates some of the functions and features that we added in Airfield Editor, and going through all the remaining features that we added to Airfield Editor for you. I really hope this helps with your airport file building and makes it easier for you to make a community airport. Alright, we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.